Orange Sky Audio presents An Internet in Your Head, A New Paradigm for How the Brain Works by Daniel Graham. Narrated for you by Stephen Wojtas. Preface. We think of our brains as computers. Whether we notice it or not, we invoke the metaphor of the brain as a computer anytime we talk about retrieving a memory, running on autopilot, being hardwired for something, or rebooting our minds. Neuroscientists are no less trapped in the computer metaphor. For almost as long as neuroscience has been a recognized field, the default approach has been to imagine the brain as a computing device. Of course, most neuroscientists don't think the brain is literally a digital computer, but textbooks across the brain sciences routinely describe neurobiological processes of thinking and behavior as directly analogous to those of a computer, with programs, memory circuits, image processing, output devices, and the like. Even consciousness is described as the internal computational modeling of the external world. And although comparisons of the brain to a computing device are usually somewhat qualified, they are nearly ubiquitous. The metaphor is hard to escape, or even notice because it is so ingrained in the way we think about the brain. This situation exists, in part, because neuroscientists use the computer metaphor when describing the brain for the general public. Neuroscientist Dean Buonamano, in his 2011 book Brain Bugs, calls brain injuries and disorders a system crash, and he writes of disk space and upgrades for our memory systems. Cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman analogizes our visual perception of the world with a computer desktop interface. My icon of an apple guides my choice of whether to eat, as well as the grasping and biting actions by which I eat. Others, like brain scientist Gary Marcus, are uncompromising. Face it, Marcus wrote in the New York Times, your brain is a computer. Neuroscientists typically see the job of a given part of the brain, single neurons, neural circuits, or brain regions, as computing something. At each level, electrical or chemical signals are passed among components, and the components operate on the signals by computing something. Computing, in this sense, means taking in a signal, making the signal bigger or smaller, faster or slower, and then passing the signal along for further mathematical adjustment. What matters is the computational relationship between the magnitude of the signal coming in and the magnitude of the signal going out. A neuron's job is often to compute a response when provided with some stimulus, a pattern of light, a sound, a social situation. With lots of neurons performing specialized computations, properties of our environment can be sensed, analyzed, stored, and linked to behavior. Working neuroscientists mostly agree that, although brains and computers...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?